Starting that warming trend into this afternoon, many of us are already pretty close to 90 degrees here, right around the noon hour. Those feels like temperatures closing in on the century mark, already feeling like 101 in Warsaw. Many of us are going to be pretty close to 100 for the feels like temperature as we head into the rest of this afternoon. Plenty of moisture that's in the soil from the early week of the rainfall, I should say, we saw earlier in the week. That is starting to evaporate, and that's adding to the dew point in the atmosphere. Whenever you have that extra water vapor, that's when that humidity really begins to rise, and you really begin to see those feels like temperatures jump up pretty quickly. Through the afternoon, we should hold pretty steady to where we're at right now. Let's think anywhere between 88 and 89 before we start to cool back off into the rest of this evening. Overnight tonight, we only dropped to about 72 degrees. You can see a little bit cooler off to the northeast, and if you squint your eyes, you can actually see some of this green popping up in central and northern portions of Illinois. Folks up there could be dropping down into the 50s overnight tonight, seeing a pretty nice cool down for them. And that may be a taste of things potentially to come for parts of mid-Missouri. We'll talk about that here in just a second. For tomorrow, another similar day to what we see today. For the most part, seeing some partly cloudy skies and temperatures into the lower 90s. The dew point tracker here into the next couple of days has us at 70 or above, so we're likely going to be dealing with this soupy atmosphere for both Friday and Saturday and likely into Sunday as well before a cold front comes through and kind of knocks down some of that humidity. And those feels like temperatures pretty much going to be the same here as we're headed into the weekend as well. Let's think anywhere between 98 to 100 for what we're going to be feeling like each and every afternoon. We have been talking about cold front coming through into next week. That should bring us some good, decent rain chances. But what is starting to pop up in the mid to long range weather data is a pretty significant cool down. You can see how we drop into the lower 80s for afternoon highs. And we could be talking about the potential of lows dropping into the lower 60s and maybe even upper 50s across parts of mid-Missouri. You can see that here on the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day outlook. This takes us into the middle parts of next week and beyond. There's a pretty big portion of the Midwest that's going to be cooler than average, so that would be a welcome change. So along with this thunderstorm activity, looking like we're going to get a pretty nice cool down into the middle and ending parts of next week.